Hello everyone, this is Warren from the Rhapsody Piano Studio. I want to welcome you to today's live stream lesson. We're going to be learning Start. This is from the TV series Itaewon class. This is going to be for intermediate piano. Before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell if you want to catch whenever I go live. And after this lesson is over, you can hit up the cards for links to both the sheet music and the tutorial, okay? Tutorial is important because these lessons are more or less the step-by-step instructions on how to practice. And the tutorial is where you really test out your knowledge to see if you are really understanding the things that I'm showing you in these lessons. Hey, Morgan, how are you doing today? Doing good? How are you? Hi, Micah. Hello, Noxio. It's a pretty cool name. Okay, so like I said, this is Start. It's gonna be for intermediate piano. And for this one, what I would suggest doing first is sometimes you don't always just want to just go straight in right away when you're practicing something. And of course, I'm a teacher, so I can kind of point this out for you. But what you're gonna want to practice first is the left hand accompaniment. The left hand more or less is just gonna follow the same patterns. Okay. By the way, this is an F major, so there are B flats everywhere. Okay, so it's just if we follow these, just this octave pattern. So it's B, and then the fifth from B, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why we call it a fifth because it's 5 notes apart. We have octave with the fifth in the middle. That's the basic pattern for this entire song. Yeah. Then we're just going from one octave to the next. So B flat, C major, D, A, and just taking a quick look. There's also F, okay? But those are basically, when I'm taking a look here, that's all you have to do with the left hand. It gets a little repetitive. Hello, Nermine, how do you say your name? Nermine Gobrial? I hope I said that right. Well, I don't know what happened with that real quick. All right, I'll be right back, folks. Don't know what's going on with the power here. I'm back. I don't know what's going on with power. Yeah, weird. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Okay. Sorry about that. So what I was saying, we're gonna go from one octave to the next. I really don't know where that cut out, but an octave with the fifth in the middle. Okay. So what I see here is B flat, C, D, A, and then there's another one on F. That's basically all you have to practice. Now, the pattern just goes up and down. And there's also one on F. Okay? And that's basically all you need to know for the left hand. So as we practice this, yeah, remember, when you're practicing this, really get the left hand down solid first before we do both hands together. Because if your left hand is not solid, it's going to be difficult for you, okay? And this, I do not recommend practicing the right hand by itself. I will show you why once we start practicing, okay? So remember, the left hand, you want to get that solid, and then practice both hands together. So from the beginning. So I went all the way to measure 6, and I'm wondering, can you guess why you don't want to do hands separate? Well, the right hand, you see, these don't line up. So it's kind of like in between the beats. So it's going to be much easier if you just do hands together here, because the left hand keeps the main downbeat, and the right hand, it's really hard to count that because it's going to come in between the notes in the left hand. Sometimes, not all the time. Okay? Yeah, and then the way it's notated too, this is off of MuseScore, so it's not like a professional arranger. So sometimes when I read it, it looks really odd, so it's even harder to time those notes. Okay? Hope that makes sense for you guys. So let me play for you one more time from the beginning to measure 6. that's what makes it difficult. The right hand coming in between those notes. Sometimes you can call that syncopation. Okay, use that in jazz a lot. All right, so that's the first step of this process. Is you just practice one chunk at a time. Okay, and usually I'll say we do hands separate, but not so much with this. Okay. And if you notice, some of my easier lessons as well, it's the same thing. We do chunks. So some of these lessons are some of these steps are pretty much the same. So we're gonna do one small part at a time first. Okay, from the beginning to measure 6. Let's do that together. Ready, go. Hopefully I'm going slow. I can't think of slow enough for you guys. Okay, by the way, how are you guys all doing today? I didn't really ask that. So it's really it's kind of cloudy out here in California yesterday. Today is much better weather. Let's keep going from measure 6. Let me do that again. To measure 10 that time. Okay, let's go a lot slower. Ready, go. Okay, almost went to the wrong octave there. Okay, so far we have one part. We're gonna call this a small chunk. Okay, when I talk to my students, I like to just tell them it's like slices of a pizza. Okay, you want to divide it up. So one part, we have another part. When you have 2 sections, sometimes more, could be 3. You just kind of have to use your own judgment. But we're gonna put that together now. So from the beginning all the way to measure 10 now. And this is just a fundamental part of practicing. You want to take the smallest section possible, and then as soon as you can, build it into larger and larger sections, which is what we're gonna do throughout this entire lesson. Okay, now from all the way from the beginning now to measure 10, you're gonna watch and listen first. Okay, we just try that together. Ready, go. Okay, so we're literally just going to continue this throughout this entire lesson. Now for measure 10, I'm going to play for measure 10, see where's the next appropriate place to stop. Okay, I'm going to do that up to measure 14. Okay, and I'm not really keeping a certain number in my head. It's not odd number, it's not even number. It's just I'm kind of doing it just by intuition. Okay, a couple changes I want to point out here. Okay, we have a lot of sixths. Call them sixths. It's kind of hard to say that. Sixths in this this section here. So 6 notes apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same thing here. So I go 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5, and then same thing 1, 4. Or 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5. Okay, but this is what works for my hand. And you notice here it's just thumb, thumb, and then here you can make a legato between both notes. The reason why I use 3, 4, 5 because I can keep a legato on the top note. Same thing here. Okay, now here thumb, thumb. See, you can't connect that, but you can do 1, 1, and 2, so you can create a legato there. So there is separation between those first 2 notes, but I can take care of that with some pedaling. And here I don't need pedal. Okay? But you know, you really have to see what works for your own hand, because we all don't have the same hand shapes and sizes. So you might just go 1-4, 1-4, 1-2, or even 1-5, 1-5, 2-5. Okay, a lot of different combinations. What you want to do is whenever you do stretches like this, do not make it painful. Avoid pain at all costs. A little discomfort's fine because sometimes you need to work on making your hands more flexible. I can actually reach pretty far, like kind of far, I guess. I say far because I don't have like a super large hand like most Russian pianists. So this is a tenth apart, so I can reach a tenth pretty. That's probably like my max right here. I can do this pretty comfortable, like a ninth, sharp ninth, pretty comfortably. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for you guys. So you kind of have to practice stretching a little bit. So that might be something to practice, but again, don't make it painful. Okay, let me play that for you one more time for measure 10. Hello, Esther. How are you doing today? Patton. I like that last name. Do that again. Okay, I'm gonna try that slower now. This is measures 10 to measure 14. Ready, go. Okay, we're gonna continue on to from 14. Let's see how far we should take it. I stopped it all the way to measure 18. Forgot to explain here, I'm also not just stopping at the section where it ends, I'm going a little bit into the next section. That way you practice connecting those parts together, a little transition. If you don't do that, you're gonna have to waste time practicing that, okay? Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Esther. All right, you're very welcome. Okay, so 14, let me show you one more time. Well, what do we have here at measure, let's take a look at measure 15, 16, 17 real quick. First we have a seventh apart, and then now we have octaves. Okay, I think that's the main chorus. I really don't know the song. My wife pretty much binge watched the show, so I kind of know what the show was about, right? We're gonna have a lot of octaves in the next section, okay? But also at measure 17, so be aware for that. That might be a place you want to practice hands separate. Just getting comfortable with the octave pattern, okay? All right, let me play for you one more time for measure 14. Let me do that again. Okay, I got some of those notes wrong. We'll get it right this time though. Let's try it together. 14 to 18. Ready, go. Okay, so now we're going to connect this section all the way from measure 8, I believe. No, from measure 10. Okay, so now we're going from measure 10 all the way to 18 this time. Okay, let's do that together. Ready, go. And we're gonna take it now all the way back to the beginning because we have one large section and then we have another large section. We're going to connect it all the way from the beginning. And so if you're kind of doing the math on here, now we have a full 18 measures. So again, this is the basic process you're going to want to practice, and I'm going to just do this throughout the lesson. Now listen all the way from the beginning. full 18 measures. Let me explain a little bit why you need to practice this way. Because in the beginning, well, I almost want to guarantee, and I'm not trying to talk negatively or anything. If you're watching this for the first time, you probably don't have good practice habits. You're probably not even aware of what good practice habits are. So I'm kind of showing you a step-by-step process. Because most people, when they practice, they just play it from beginning to end with really no plan. Okay, it's not a good way to practice. That's not practicing good productivity as well. It's like, you know, productivity is like you want to have like a to-do list. You want to schedule like when you're going to do something at a certain time. So you have a plan of action. So that's on one sense, right? The other thing is, if you don't do small parts at a time, you're not really building up your concentration effectively. If you do the whole thing from beginning to end, guess what? When you get to the end, most times when I listen to students play, I'll say 80% of the time, the last part is not that good, because guess what? They just go from the beginning all the way to the end. So by the time they get to the end, their concentration, they're getting a little bit tired. So that last part doesn't really get practiced that well. So if you do small sections at a time, we're pretty much making it almost 100% that what you're practicing at that time is you're going to get good quality results. Okay? Hi Charles, how's it going? Yeah, and so then you do small parts, and then you keep doing larger parts, and then eventually your concentration improves, and you can actually do longer sections. Okay? Hope that makes sense for you guys. Let's start from the beginning again, all the way to measure 18. Ready, go. Okay, so that is the first major part. Yeah, Charles, I'm a little sad I wasn't able to find a good arrangement of that song you were looking for, but you know, I'll check my Insta later. Hopefully you found another request. I want to get a song done for you, so please let me know, okay? All right, and if you notice here, we spent a good 10-15 minutes. It's probably 10 minutes minus all the talking, okay? I mean, I have to explain my process, right? So if you look here, it took me about 10 minutes just to work through the first page, and I'm not really even practicing it because I don't need to practice this, okay? I'm not bragging, I just don't need to practice this that much. So if you're practicing this, it might take you maybe in 30 minutes just to get past the first page. So that's another reason why you want to have this plan, because if you do the whole thing, you're not really going to get a lot done, or you're going to have to practice like an hour, okay? So it's really, if you want to practice the most effective way, you need to make a good plan. So a good plan would be today, maybe the first page. The next day, maybe the first page again, okay? And when that gets easier, then, you know, the second page, and then the last part. So each day, you kind of want to plan accordingly. And this is why doing small parts at a time is really going to help you in that, okay? So I hope I made my point. I won't really say too much about it now. We're going to keep going for measure 18. Let's look at this next section. All the way to measure 25 or 26. You notice it's pretty repetitive. So actually you could just go from, let me see. Yeah, I mean, it's like slight differences. You can literally practice half of that if you want at a time, okay? And it's really similar. So if you practice half of it, you pretty much have this whole entire section. But, you know, for the sake of this lesson, let's go from measures 18 all the way to 26 this time. Little larger section. It also gives you a really good basis to see if you are really improving. Because if you're improving with this practice, then you can do longer and longer sections, okay? All right, this is 18 to 26. Let's just try it together. Ready, go. Was that? No, I started at 17. Sorry about that. Measure 18. Ready, go. 26. Now we're on to the second page. Let's look at the new section here. Okay, something's up with my internet. I guess I'm still on. Yeah, okay, weird. Yeah, internet's really not too good lately. All right, let's keep going. So this is all the way to measure 34. Okay. So I guess the harmonic pattern on the left hand, the harmony a little bit different here, but you see it's still all these same octaves. Okay. So just a little comparison if you guys are interested in that type of thing. If we go from the beginning, we go from B flat, C, D, A. That's the pattern. Now if you look at the pattern here, we have B flat, F, A, D, C, B. A little bit all over the place, right? So we just start from F actually. F, A, D, C, B. See that? So that's the new harmonic pattern here. Okay, so hope that helps. Let me play for you one more time. See if you can hear it now. I'll take one before. Yeah, one before I'm talking. Sorry about that. Measure 26. That's this part in a nutshell. Let's try that together. This is 26 all the way to measure 34. Ready, go. Okay. By the way, we're almost done with this lesson, I guess. Yeah, almost done with here. We have a third page here, but it's just really like less than a quarter of it. So we're almost done here. I just want to ask you guys if you have enjoyed this lesson, if you feel like you're learning something from it, the things that I'm saying make sense to you, hopefully they do, hit that like button. It really does help me out a lot. Just a simple, thumbs up button. It really does help though, like seriously. Okay, it's free content. I want to try to get out to as many people as possible as well. And after this lesson is over, remember to check out the sheet music, the tutorials, and also share this video with anyone who would love to play this on piano as well. It's my pleasure, Charles. By the way, make sure you stick around at the end. I'll give you guys a quick recap before we end the lesson, because recap. Wow, okay, and it's not really too kind to me today. Ooh, okay, this is really laggy. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, like I said, some internet has not been too good lately. So, but regardless, I'm still going to continue this lesson for all of you. All right, so this is, where is it? Where are we at? Measure. Was it measure 41? No, measure 34. Yeah, here we go. So a little new pattern here, but it's all octaves. Yeah, let me know how the internet is going, guys, as well, because my laptop is kind of, I'm watching the lesson on the laptop just to make sure it's no problems, but it's just in and out. Okay, this is measure 34. New pattern, but still it's kind of all the same. This octaves, right? Going from here to here to here to here to here to here to here. I'm gonna go through that real quick. We're going from B flat, F, A, D, B flat, F, A, and then to B flat and measure 42. That's the basic pattern. Okay, so this is all you have to practice. Yes, okay, and you guys still there? No problem with the internet? I don't know, it's like my home internet is really bad right now. Okay, all right, let's go from measure 34. drama because kind of left hand kind of just fades out right there, so it really just highlights the right hand there because nothing going on, and left a little bit of silence. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's glitching a little bit. Okay, I'm glad it's just a little bit. I hope it doesn't do too much. Okay, let's keep it going from 34. Yeah, 34. Let's do this again. Thank you, wifey Caitlin. Okay, this is measure 34. Let me play for you one more time. Okay, let's do that together. 34, 2. She's like from here. It's like she's in the living room. Okay, ready, go. Okay, totally disconnected. I don't know what's up with my internet today. Okay, so I don't know where we left off, but what I was saying was from measures 42 to the end, you don't need to practice this part because it's exactly the same. Okay, so this part. It's like 42. It's exactly the same as the octave section. The little, I don't know if that's a chorus or whatever. Jeez, the internet's just not safe. I gotta stop complaining. Okay, so if you look at that, it's same thing as the octave section. And then if you look at the last part, measures 51. That is the same as measures 27. 27, that section there. Okay, so this last part, you don't even need to practice it. And that's kind of like the last point. Okay, so major technical difficulties on that. Still kind of, I don't know what is up. Sorry, it's just the internet is just driving me crazy today. But anyway, that's it for today's lesson. So instead of the quick recap, I guess we'll just end it here. But thanks for going through all of that with me today. Jeez, all right. We'll figure something out for next time. Maybe I'll just use my data. But yeah, if you want a quick recap, just actually go to the beginning of this lesson, I guess, after it's over. But anyways, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys next time. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, as well as the like button, and share this video as well. I'll see you guys for the next, so glitchy. All right, for the next live stream in about a week. And make sure you check out my tutorials coming up. And see you